Hello, my name is Starlight, and welcome to my YouTube channel. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you also like this video, please subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. I will have lots of different topics every day. So anyway, I do want to reach out to you all before I get started on what I'm going to talk about. And you're probably wondering, what are you going to talk about? And shh, it's a surprise. So, so anyway, right now I am not home. I'm actually getting out of my comfort zone. So that's not what we're going to talk about, though. But it's kind of weird having a door as my background right now. But anyway, thank you for watching this, and I did want to reach out to you to see how everybody is doing. And I'm so excited. Valentine's is going to be here in a few days. So anyway, I just want to make sure you're taking really good care of yourself and the ones that are out there loving and supporting you. Your children, your husband or wife, and if you are single, you really need to really take good care of yourself, if you don't have anybody to help you out in life. And I feel, like alone myself at times, even though I have two kids, but, hey, they have their life and I have mine, so that's what happens when kids grow up. It's not the same. And maybe you're a single mom, and you have your kids and you're all grown up, or a single dad, or maybe, you're just single and you feel alone. But remember, you're not alone. We're all connected one way or another. We're all family. So anyway, to get my video going, what I want to talk to you about this time on this video is about not focusing on the fall, but focus on the comeback. And you might be wondering, what does that mean? And well, I have to give credit to Ralph Smart, Infinite Waters. And this is a tough one because this is something that I am still working on. So I just want to help you. Maybe you struggle with this. Sometimes we they say there's no mistakes, it's just lessons, but we'll call it a mistake for now. But, there's times maybe, you make a mistake, like maybe raising your kids, or being that husband or being that wife that you wished you were, or maybe you did something at work, or maybe you did something in the past that you regret, and maybe you haven't really moved on from that time, when you did something. And a lot of that to me has a lot to being hard on yourself. And we really need to let go, and accept that, really, we can't change anything that happened in the past. So, I've been learning a lot with Ralph Smart, Infinite Waters. And if you haven't heard of him, really I encourage you. He's been a mentor to me for years now. And so I'm doing this because of him, really. I wanted to do something. And anyway, if you haven't heard of him, he's on YouTube. And so, yeah, I've learned that, and that's where I struggled a lot. And I can't say I really have achieved all that yet, but every day what I've noticed is that I am getting better every day on how I love myself, and not being as hard as I was a while back, and because I've gone through a lot in my life, and you might relate to that in your life too. Maybe you've gone through, I call it hell. I've gone through literal hell in my life, and no exaggeration, so anyway, because I've experienced many, 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 many things in my life, maybe you can relate to that. Maybe you've, through childhood or relationships or this or that, you name it, kind of thing, so, it is something when you go through different lessons. That's what they are. They are lessons, it might have been, things that you learned in school, like me, or, when you were a kid growing up, and maybe you did something wrong, or, where a lot of people, where they have a hard time, and I know a lot of people suffer from this, is maybe they weren't the mom or the dad that they wish they were when they were younger, and maybe you're not even in contact with your sons or daughters, and you want to fix that. But really, the best thing to do is to try to make up for that now, and a lot of times we can't take back what we might have done or the choices that we've made before. And, I have done, I never really went around hurting people. Mainly it was me, I was my worst enemy, and that's where we all kind of hit, can relate to that, where a lot of times we might be pointing at other people and, but really, I was my worst enemy, and I did point my fingers around at a lot, because really when I started off being a kid, I came from a very abusive home, so I didn't have a good start in life. And so I've learned that I have to, my parents didn't know what they were doing, and so I had to, and it's hard to really understand. And when you really get to know, your parents' background, and I might be, bringing you back somewhere you don't want to go. Believe me, I really don't want to go back there either. But I have to bring this up to get my point across is, my father and my mother, especially my mom, really didn't have an education. And my mom, wasn't being brought up right. She was in a foster home as a kid, where her mom couldn't take care of all. She had 15 kids, and she had different husbands and a lot of kids, with different fathers. And, my mom got put in a foster home. So my mom really never went to school. My mom at this age, she's going to be probably 82 coming up. And she's third grade level. So how, really, how is, it's hard, so maybe you went through something when you were a kid, and then you got to really look at what did they know, when they were raising you. So that's a good reason why I want to do YouTube videos, is try to straighten this mess up on the planet, is to really, I want to discourage people, from having kids, and really discourage them from getting married. And you're probably, what? Did I just hear that right? You want to discourage people from having kids and get, yes. Because really, you look at the way the world is, with me, if I didn't learn from the mistakes that my parents did to me, and I brought kids up, I would be repeating the same thing they did to me. So I went through a lot of horrible abuse from a lot of my family members when I was a child growing up. And so you might be able to relate to that. But, I have to actually let all that go and understand that my parents didn't have a good education. My dad didn't, he was blind, so here I have one parent that really didn't go to school, didn't learn anything. She had to work on a farm, from what she told me. So, she didn't know how to raise us. And that's why my parents made a lot of mistakes, in bringing me up and bringing my brothers up, where we lacked education as kids. And so there we go, there's a cycle going, it could have continued again. So anyway, we want to not to dread on what we did or all the things that happened in the past, because you're just carrying that energy from what happened then into your now. And that's where you really want to focus, is on, now, learn from what you learned, and a lot of times we can't change any of that stuff that happened in the past. So, what I've been doing from, what I've been learning from Ralph Smart, Infinite Waters, is now, I'm learning how to really love myself. And right now, I am learning to recreate who I am. So I have which I would kind of say it like the way the Bible would say, is I have this old sin nature self of my old self. And now I'm inventing and creating a new version of me, where now, like before, I thought I was fine. I didn't really see how many things that I needed to really work on. And till I really seen a lot of videos on YouTube, a lot of videos, and my twin flame was revealing things. He's my mirror, like he's my reflection of, and he can spot things. It's amazing if you've even ever heard of a twin flame, but when you work on yourself, that's how you discover who your twin flame is, and everybody has one. So this video is really to encourage you and inspire you to work on yourself and, let all that stuff from the past go. And, hey, like, we can't go back and change it. Like when I was a mom bringing up my kids, even though my kids say that I was a great mom, I got a big, huge Mother's Day card that hangs on my bedroom door at my apartment. And it says it all. My son really put it all out on how a mom I was. I wasn't perfect. But, my two kids know that I tried the best that I could with what I had. And, they didn't realize really how all this, like how I was a good mom until they started having babies. And that is really when my daughter was the first one to actually have a son. And when she started raising him up at the time with her husband, she was like, wow, my mom raised me up without a husband, without a man by her side. My mom, did this, without an education, my kids knew my past. I was very open with my kids on stuff that happened to me because I wanted to teach them that what happened to me is not a good thing. We cannot repeat those cycles. So my kids knew a lot of the abuse that I was under as a kid, and I felt like it was important because we do not want to repeat those things in life. And that's why I wanted to start a YouTube channel, is because we really do. We need to change the way, people are so quick to get in relationships and to have kids, and there's a lot of unplanned pregnancies, and that's, both of my kids were both unplanned pregnancies, even though I really wanted, when my daughter, I really wanted a daughter at the time, but I was 17 years old, even though I knew how to babysat kids. I babysat my sister that had disabilities and stuff, and I babysat other people's kids. I knew how to babysit, but I didn't know how to be a full-time mom at 17, where I would have been with her all the time. And, so I did. I learned a lot of things. And so even when my son and his wife, had their first son, and it's taken two of them, and they both work and they're raising up a son, and they're like, how did my mom, my son is definitely in shock. Like, how did I do it all being a single mom? How did I bring up two kids without an education and without even being brought up right myself? So, so now, we don't want to, I don't want to, I want to actually see people that are really taking it serious on being parents, there's so many people out there that cannot have kids and they would be great parents, but the abuse needs to stop with the children. And so back to the topic of why I'm really making this video is so really, you might have made a lot of mistakes, which were lessons, whether, it was something that you did when you brought your kids up, raised them. Maybe you made some mistakes. Maybe, I know a lot of people where they were alcoholics, when they were bringing up their kids, and then the wife, broke up with him, and they missed out their whole child, their kids' own childhood, like they never were there for their kids. And when they got older, they turned to drugs and alcohol. And it's a sad story, because later on, that person that I did hang out with, he was in his 70s, but he wasn't taking care of himself. He was depressed because he wanted to be with his kids, but he didn't know how to get that back, because he was still an alcoholic. And, it's really sad, because his kids lost a dad, and they never got to know him. And, so some people do. They beat themselves up, and they don't reach out for help. So there is help for you out there. Either you can have a friend that can help you out, or therapy. Like meditation is really, really beneficial. I really encourage you, and I'm going to always encourage you. I'm still learning how to meditate. So if you really need help with anything that you've dealt with in the past, as maybe you're feeling bad about stuff that you've done or guilty over, it's good to meditate and let go of all that stuff that happened before, and because I know how it is, like when you do something wrong, and believe me, I know what it's like, because I know how to criticize myself better than anybody. You think you could criticize Starlight? You ought to see me do it. I can do a better job than you could, because I know exactly where to hit myself. So I've been learning by watching YouTube videos from Ralph Smart, is that I have to stop being so hard on myself, really. It could be scary, and you might deal with this yourself. Maybe you cut yourself up with your words, and you might call yourself names, or, different things. And you might, there's times that people go through a childhood where they've been called names, like being called retard and being called stupid, and all kinds of horrible names that parents or even their siblings, like their brothers or sisters, like that's what happened to me when I was growing up. I was called a retard the whole time, either at home with my brothers or my father. It's like, not that he called me a retard, but he had other names to say pretty much the same thing. And, like in school, wow, like it was horrible. So you might have gone through that when you were younger, where those names kind of, they brand you, like they label you as a kid, when you're growing up. And, we end up carrying those labels throughout our whole life, thinking that we are that label, even though inside of us we really don't see us like that. But there's times when we do mess up that we might think, like, oh, that was not a really smart thing to do, or whatever. So you want to let go of that, and, really you got to focus on the now, and think of how you can actually reinvent yourself, and, like a higher version of yourself, and that's what you really need, is to, like accept those things, like there might be something that you do, like if you do something wrong to somebody, like your husband or wife, it's really also, really a great thing to let them know that you're sorry about that, and I did actually have a client years ago where her son kept on doing some stuff, and he would always go back and say, Mom, like, I am sorry I did this again, and she goes, well, instead of saying you're sorry all the time, why don't you just stop doing it? Like where, you just got to let go of it, and not to repeat that same cycle over again, like downing yourself for being too hard. There's enough other people that are too hard on us, including myself, where, like you got to take good care of yourself and love yourself. So don't focus on the fall. focus on the comeback, say, hey, that was then. I'm done with it. I am done with it. I'm not going to look back and look at all my flaws, but when you do have a thought, replace it with a positive, because your thoughts are not your own. And, you're really just observing these thoughts. And, just what I've been learning recently, it's like a passing cloud. Really just try to focus on something beautiful. Think of somebody that you love, like when you have like a negative thought about, maybe, like something triggers you to think of what you did, because that happens a lot, where and you might not know what a trigger is, not on a gun, okay? We're not talking about guns here, even though I can shoot one. But no, we're not talking about guns. It's like, say if, just in case you don't know what a trigger is, I didn't know this myself years ago, is I could say something to you and it might trigger something you. Church, that would have been a trigger for me, where I had a bad experience with one particular church. So if somebody said the word church, it brings back a bad memory that I had with church. Sometimes it could be the weirdest things out in the world that could trigger a negative thought in your brain, because, like if I say something, you're going to visually see it in your mind space. Like if I say apple, you know what an apple, it's red and round or whatever, and it's fruit. Banana, So guns, knives, let me think of different kind of triggers. Yeah, so there's all kinds of triggers out there. Some of them could be, there's good triggers and bad triggers. Like Christmas could be like a bad trigger for somebody, or a cemetery, a funeral. These are triggers. When I say funeral, you might think of somebody that did pass away that you loved and you cared for, where, now you gotta, like you don't want to focus too much on these triggers, like that can cause a lot of negative thoughts going on in your mind. So what we got to do is to really, if somebody says something, or even going down the road, it happens to me. I had a hard time because of my church incident. What was going on is that after I got out of that church, I went back and moved in the area where that church was, and I would avoid going past that building. I mean, like, I knew where it was, and I'm like, I won't even go down that road, I'm like, because it was a horrible stuff that was happening. So I wanted to avoid it, but no matter how much I try to avoid that building, that church that did a lot of abusive stuff to kids and people, I would go by other churches and it would trigger me because I'm like, a church, so I am a Christian, but man, I'm good with going to church these days, so anyway, you don't want to focus on the fall. Think of how you can remake yourself just to be a better version. So like I said, if you haven't heard of them, a lot of you might have. You might even be a person that already watches his videos. But Ralph Smart, Infinite Waters, wow, he is a deep diver, and he could give you so much help with all this stuff. So really, those, like when you really want to recreate yourself and focus on coming back even stronger like I am, like I could have really, somebody that, like me, that has gone through so much abuse throughout my whole life. Like if I told you my life history, you'd be like, what the heck? And I've been suicidal many times throughout my life. And people with the mental illnesses that I have and all the abuse that I have gone under is a lot of people like me don't even go to work, don't even drive a car. They actually collect money for disability or even government money because of all the trauma that I've been under. but I'm a fighter. I have been fighting my whole life, and I'm coming back strong. Really, I should have been dead a long time ago, but I'm still alive. I'm not. I don't quit. I'm fighting, and I'm not gonna quit. And so you want to let that stuff go, and like what I've been doing a lot is I write things down on what goals that I have. There's some people that don't believe in goals, but I'm a big believer on creating goals and coming up with something that you want to do in your life. Think of the things that will make you happy, as a career, or like most of the people do want that happy life of being married and having a good job, and having kids, and having a beautiful car, beautiful house. So a lot of people want that. So yeah, focus on how you can achieve those things. Like maybe you're not happy with your work, and that's where you can work, is like, think of a job that you would be happy, where you can inspire people. So yeah, you just got to take it a day at a time, and like, don't bring up, like, that's what I was doing. I was like, I did this so much, it drove me cuckoo. It really did, because it's almost like having, I actually had a relative that did this a lot. It was, I think he had a disability, but I didn't know he was like this. I didn't really know him. I was getting to learn him, like getting to learn about him. And so what he was doing is that, because he really wasn't being brought up right, is that he would watch a movie, and he would have that remote control. And what he would do is the craziest thing I ever seen anybody do on watching a movie. But he would watch it would be horrible movies, but he knew that it was just acting and stuff like that. Somebody drilled it in his head so bad about how it was just acting. And he would watch movies. And one time I was watching a movie with him, and literally, like, like maybe a guy's head fell off in the movie. Well, he would rewind it and play that part again and start laughing, even though it was not a good movie, like, and he was a Christian, I couldn't believe that we were both sitting there watching this. And he would laugh, and then he would rewind it again and replay it, and then rewind it and play it and rewind it and play it. Well, that is pretty much what happens to people when they can't let go of something that they did. They, a lot of people that get depressed, that's exactly, I've been depressed so many times in my life, and somebody might have hurt you, or you might have gotten broke up with, like, and then what we do, we have like a remote control in our hand. I wish I had one in my hand right now. And then we replay the whole part, when the whole thing went bad. And then we push the play button, and we feel sad and we feel bad, and then we gotta rewind it again and push play, and then I feel so horrible, and then we just keep on doing this, and it just really, we gotta let that go. And you really want to put that remote control down, please. Really put that remote control down. Push stop, take the tape out or something, get that DVD out of the tape player, out of the player, and don't keep on doing that, because that's what a lot of people do when they are depressed. They, like whatever happened or what was said, somebody could have said something horrible to you, and got to push replay. Oh, I can't believe they did that. I can't believe they said that. Why did they say that to me? I just, that was not nice. Oh, I feel so horrible. And then, I got to replay it again, So anyway, I love you. And you want to reinvent yourself. And yeah, think of how you want to be as a person, and what do you want to change, and that's what you can do is try to stay in the now and think of focus on good things, like just if you get a negative thought that comes in it, like if you're new to this, like it takes time though. Like every day, if a negative thought think about somebody you really love. If you're in love with somebody, just kind of like, oh man, I love this man or this woman. You might be Or, like maybe, somebody, or even your pet, like my dog was called Sassy, like, oh, such a good doggy. But yeah, you don't want to stay in that negative state of mind. So you really want to switch it off and focus on the good things in life. Think of how beautiful it is outside, and think of nature, like beautiful things, like a beautiful garden or something, just to try to get that negative thought out of your mind. And anyway, I love all of you, and really just put that remote control down, and just stay in the now, and reinvent yourself, recreate yourself, get like a upgrade, like those things that you don't like about yourself, you can change those things, but you really want to love yourself inside and out. Alrighty, I love all of you. This is Starlight. If you like this video, I hope you do. I'm really trying so hard to help everyone out. I really want to reach out the kids. We really do, and the parents out there, and young folks, and men and women of all ages, that we really need to turn this around and how we're raising children up. Because we don't want to do this all over again, like with children being abused and all that stuff. We really need to turn it around and have parents that really are going to take parenthood really serious, because it's a very serious job. It's one of the most important jobs out in the world that you can ever have. And anyway, I love all of you. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you like it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can get a hold of me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. And you will find me there. And the best place, though, probably would be Instagram. I get a lot of messages on Facebook. But anyway, you can visit me at either one of those apps. So anyway, I love all of you. This is Starlight. Love and light. Peace. Okay.